Okay, welcome everyone to another exciting episode of the Vinyl Community Guncles. I'm Robert Fithen, along with Richard from Calvin Wazoo, Mike from Hubtunes, and Craig's from Craig's Vinyl Plethora. Ow!
Oh, yeah, scream again.
Wow.
Rock and roll.
Yeah,
Wow.
has got to go. And
Now we
go
have
here
to
it
live-
does, here on
have to live up
KWK.
to
We're
that.
no longer playing rock and roll. Anyway, so here we are, and we got all kinds of great things coming up. We got the album review where we'll take a look at, what was it, Big Mama Thornton and Sassy Mama, her 1977 release. Craig suggested that one, and also do a what record would you pull scenario that is coming up as well. First, though, there's this thread that's been going around. Who started this?
Alan from Static.
Static Traveler.
Yeah.
No, Benjamin Derrick.
The guy with the
Benjamin
fucking puppets?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy.
Yeah.
The puppets didn't do it. Alan did it.
Oh, well.
Maybe the
My
puppets
puppets
do
are
it
in the
as
other
well.
room. I'm not doing this with puppets.
Yeah, I really don't do anything with puppets, but okay, well, we're doing this for the puppets, I guess. There's a thread going around. If you were God and you could change some things on some albums, you could resurrect some people. So we thought we would just all four do it here. You know, why not just get it out of the way?
Right.
Yeah, it's fun.
Then we don't have to make a
You
video.
sound so enthusiastic.
Yes.
It was
Well,
your
you know,
idea.
I didn't even write any of the questions. Nobody wrote any of these down, right? We have to remember them.
Yeah.
I think the first
Well,
one.
my selections, I pulled them in order that you said them. So
Oh, okay. So the
There's
first one
the-
is you're obliterating a song from an
Right.
album, like an album that's perfect, and you're just going to remove one song from it to make it perfect because there's just one bad song on there. What are you removing? What album? Who's going first?
Why don't we go around? Richard?
Oh,
Still
all
have
right.
to have a
Or
starting
you.
point.
all right.
Life's just a circle, to quote Big Head Todd.
The
Never do that.
otherwise perfect album that I think is this one. All right, Aerosmith's second
God,
one.
I know where you're going with this.
Don't do
with
that.
Boys in the Attic.
Don't do it.
Don't.
But the last song.
Oh.
That ballad, You See Me Crying. Oh my God, get rid of that
Okay.
song. That song, totally, every song, every track on this album is, to me, perfect. This
Right.
would be a perfect 10, except for the fact of You See Me Crying. I'm like, for so long, I keep thinking that he was singing, What's That You've Done to Your Hair? You know, that's all he was singing. You know, it's,
That's
yeah,
a good
this
question, though.
Yeah, that would be
It's
great.
a great
A
question.
dude starts crying because his girlfriend changes her hair, and it's like a hard rock song.
So that's the one
I
would-
thought
I'd get rid of
you
that
were going
song.
with Big 10-inch record.
Yeah, that's what I thought that was going.
Yeah. It's still their best album.
That's like taking Big Balls off of Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap.
There you go.
No.
Yeah. Definitely their best album.
Okay, and we're going with Craig next. If we're going,
Okay, so I'm gonna go with Confessions on a Dance. I just kind of been listening to this a lot lately, and I feel like because I
I didn't know
expect
that was on
crap.
vinyl.
Yeah, and it's pink. I love New York. It needs to not be on here. It does not. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit.
I don't know it, but just the way you said it needs to not be on here.
I remember
That
the first
album
time, like when I
saved my
first got
life.
this record, I was like, wow, because previously she had released so much crap, and I was
Yeah.
like, wow, this is a really good record. And
It
then I got
is.
to I Love New York, and I think the biggest problem I have with it, I don't want to go to New York because it makes me feel like a dork, and I'm like, you really put dork in your lyrics?
Oh yeah, I didn't know
It's
about
like,
that.
and you're
Yikes.
Madonna, like.
Does she write her own lyrics?
It's most of the
Which
time.
she did-
but then the
she
album
apparently
that-
did for
yeah,
them.
and then MDNA came out, and Lourdes must have wrote that album for her because it's god awful. But we're not talking about that one. But yeah, I love. Other than I Love New York, I feel like this is a perfect record.
It is. That
I
album
knew that
saved
was
my
on
life.
vinyl because I remember when Richard showed it. I paid
Really?
attention.
I did
Richard
not.
showed the CD.
I showed the CD because I don't
Craig
have it on
showed the
Oh,
vinyl.
I don't pay that much attention. But yeah, I'm the same way. When an artist gets to a certain part in their career or a certain level, there comes a point where certain lyrics and certain lines are no longer an option.
Right.
And I don't want to feel like a dork or whatever she said about New York. That's not an option for Madonna on album
and
number
the music is
12
really,
or
really
whatever.
good of that song. The music's really good. It's just I can't get past the lyrics.
Yeah. I can agree with you on that one.
B-side, maybe a B-side, but not on the album.
Right.
No. I'm next, aren't I?
Yes.
You are.
This is going to be unpopular, but I was just listening to this a couple of days ago because we were talking about novelty songs.
Yes.
The Monkees theme. Leave it off. It's a great record. I understand everyone loves the Monkees theme. I get that. It's a novelty song. This is a perfect record. This is great.
Yeah.
But what about Gonna Buy Me a Dog? That's a total novel. I thought that's what you were going to say. The Gonna Buy Me a Dog at the end.
I mean, I thought about that, but that's the last song. You know,
Yeah.
It's like, no. I mean, the Monkees theme is great. Everyone loves it. Every time it comes on, we turn up the radio a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I don't need it.
I never cared for We're the Young Generation and We've Got Something to Say. Hey, we're the Monkees. That just always was kind of like,
right.
It's a TV theme song.
that's what the young
it's
generation's
great,
going to
and we
say.
love
You know, hey, we're the Monkees.
Yes.
And we
And
feel
it
like
kicks off.
monkeying
And
around.
we're young.
And it kicks off the whole album. Like, that's the first song. I think maybe that's what I don't like about it all that much.
Well,
it is the
it
first
wouldn't
song.
make a very
Yeah.
good fifth song or, sixth. I mean,
No.
It
It's
shouldn't be
gotta
on the
be an
album.
opener.
That's my point.
yeah, allow us to introduce ourselves.
I'm going to get so many comments
On
on that.
side
Sam
two.
St. John and Glenn Calloway. I'm sure they don't watch this, but they're going to go after me on that one.
Yeah, because that really is the perfect way to start that album. So that you're
No,
probably
it's
going to get attacked.
not. No, it's not.
That drum at the beginning, boom. I mean, come on.
I Want to Be Free could have been an opener. Last Train
I
to
Want to Be
Clarksville
Free
could have
as
been-
an opener?
Last Train to Clarksville could have been the first
Okay,
song.
well that could have, but not I Want to Be Free's a ballad. It's like Davy Jones with an acoustic guitar.
Then you kick in with like a rocker.
Free.
I like that song. I like Davy Jones. I'm going
My
home.
choice is
You-
Steve
aren't
Miller
you
Band,
home?
Fly Like an Eagle.
I am.
One of the first albums I ever heard. And his perfect album all the way through with all kinds of different sounds and all kinds of, it's really a journey. It's like one of my favorite albums ever. But if we could just get rid of his cover of Sam Cooke's You Send Me, this would even be more perfect.
Oh, yeah.
That
yeah.
is so
More
date
perfect?
rapey and so yes, and we can have more perfect union.
It's
We
awful.
can have a more perfect Steve Miller Band Fly Like an Eagle album, and this is once again the Blue Mercury version, so you can have Mercury Blues on a Blue Mercury. But yeah,
Well, that's a good
that
one
is
to
just
get
such
rid
a
of that, on
it
that
just
album.
gets more and more cringe as
Yeah.
time goes on. I didn't like it as a little kid. I didn't really understand.
Kind of like
slow.
his career.
Yeah, I saw him a few years ago, and he wasn't that bad. But it was right when his Bingo album was coming out.
Did he play that song when you saw him?
No, I've never. Yeah, I don't think he's really into that. But yeah, we could just get rid of You Send Me. This would be
That would be the
100% instead of
Totally agree with
99.
you.
So,
All right.
yeah.
So the next one is to get rid of an album completely out of an artist's catalog, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which one would you obliterate?
Yes.
All right, this is the one I would obliterate. Thingfish from Frank Zappa's catalog. I will eventually get around to doing a full video about this.
Is that
But
a
this
box
is
set?
a royal piece of shit.
Is it too late to change the artist? I would. Oh, never mind.
You can do whatever you want. We're Gunkle.
Yeah, because you haven't done it yet. So, but yeah, there are some songs that are kind of new and original in this, but it's just a lot of recycled stuff. I think he was just really lazy with this.
What
And
year
is
did that come out? I've never seen
1984. Yeah, 1984.
not a great era for Frank.
No, but things were after Joe's Garage. Things started going, but this was definitely the nadir. So
I've never seen that.
Thingfish.
Wow.
I would just get rid of it. Except I have to
Okay.
have it because I got to have every one.
Yeah.
You have an addiction.
That's a compulsion.
Speaking of addictions, did you all look recently? Well, the different addiction. Yeah, I'm getting rid of this shit. I'm getting rid of this. I'm getting rid of this. I'm getting rid of this.
Which Cure is that?
This is their last one, which came out in like 2008. This is 413 Dream. I'll keep the title track. It can be a B-side underneath this, or not the title, the first track, Underneath the Stars. I like that song. It is the only song I like. This is terrible. I waited for this, and I have a feeling that that's what's going to happen if they do release new material. That I'm going to go, I waited like 18 years for this. Not that long, but I waited for this. This is crap. It is crap. Sorry.
And that's their most recent release?
Yeah, which is like 2008 or something like that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I can't read the damn date on it.
It's like
blended
2008, 2009.
Yeah.
Damn.
And for me to say that.
Well, you have high standards for them, obviously.
I do.
Okay, what album are we obliterating completely?
Well, I was going to go with this artist, his album Tonight, but I couldn't find it in the collection because it might not even be up there. But I'm going to go with my second choice of this artist that also will not be popular. I can't stand this.
Oh, I love that record.
David Bowie's Pinup.
Yeah.
Sorrow is the only thing I like on here.
I love his cover of Syd Barrett's See Emily Play.
Yeah,
See,
I think
Tonight was
one of those play it once and hear it, and they just kind of.
I mean, he does a cover.
Wow.
It's all covers. For people who don't know, it's covers. David Bowie doing covers very early in his career. You know, he's covering "I Can't Explain," "See Emily Play." Not bad, no. But
covering a Scorpion song.
What? I didn't say Scorpions.
That's a little joke for the Scorpions fans. I can't
we
explain.
have Scorpions fans? Oh my god!
So they covered that song too.
Sorrow is absolutely fantastic. Where have all the good times gone? What a piece of garbage that is.
Now they're covering Van Halen?
Oh my god! I'm about to leave.
Oh,
Don't leave. But,
which member of the vinyl community Guncles would you obliterate from this?
Yeah, right?
Our first Gunkle to walk out.
No,
You were going to pick
I
Tonight as well.
What on?
You were going to pick Tonight, but you couldn't find it.
I hate Tonight. That whole era of David Bowie's career. It starts
I
with
just-
Let's Dance, which is tolerable, but then like the
I don't like that song, but
Never Let Me Down and Tonight after that, awful.
Never
But
Let
then
Me
you get
Down was one that I was just kind of like, wow.
It's there's actually a new version of it that's kind of remixed. I forget who remixed it, but it's actually a much better record. But Tonight is garbage. And Let's Dance. I mean, it is what it is. But
those are like
It's
two
all right,
of my
yeah.
favorite
Let's
Bowie.
Dance.
it's all right. It's got you know what it has? It has Cat People. That song is awesome. That's one of Bowie's best songs. Putting out.
I always
Fire
like
with
Modern
Gasoline.
Love, one of the big singles. On my way to go out.
It's
to stay in.
It's
Don't
not my
sing it.
favorite
Don't
album,
sing it.
but I do like Let's Dance. I like that one, and I like Pinups. So yeah, you're wrong on Pinups. You're wrong.
And Stevie Ray Vaughan's guitar work on that is great. Absolutely fantastic.
Is it my turn already?
It's your turn.
Already,
To do an album obliteration. Mine's a weird, and it's not an album, it's a series of albums. And it's by The Doors. And it's all those remixes that came out in I don't know when it was, 15 years ago or whatever, when they re-released all their albums and they put all these weird sound effects on them and they changed guitar parts around and Jim Morrison's laughing all over LA Woman now. And so radio gets a hold of this. Now every other time you heard a Doors song on the radio, it would be one of those remixes. Their compilations started filling up with those remixes. And it's just I just wish we could just go back and just obliterate that entire concept of these weird...
Show the cover. I've never seen it.
This isn't one of... I don't have them. This is just the Doors classics. This is the way a Doors compilation should be. This is from 1984 or 5, I think. And, I was just showing that just in case people didn't know who the Doors were. That's just one door.
I didn't, so thank you.
It's the main door. But yeah, it's if we could just go away from that entire concept. I got all of those. They remastered all the CDs, and I got them all for Christmas, like one year, just in bulk. And I didn't know that they were all these screwed up versions, and just was like completely devastated. It's like, I mean, what a huge waste of money. But yeah, get rid of the Doors remixes and just do the originals.
Had no idea they did that.
Yeah.
That's
well, they've gone back to the originals since then, and I'm pretty sure on vinyl, all you can get is the originals. I don't think they have these weird laughing LA Womans and, 10-minute long Riders on the Storms or whatever they ended up doing.
Yeah, no, that's awful. One of my favorite bands of all time.
Yeah. Ray Manzarek behind that. Always trying to...
Really?
For the kids, because we have to make it hip for the kids. It's like, why don't you give the kids a little credit? The kids will come to your music and appreciate it for what it is. They don't need,
One of the greatest
current
bands
mixes
of, all
of
time.
everything. It's like that's like that Giles Martin excuse. We got to make it hip for the kids. Shit.
And Jim Morrison was somebody who really, his whole image was manipulated by the record companies in so many ways to begin with.
And Oliver Stone.
Yeah.
Terrible.
All right.
Okay, so the next question is something about
to resurrect an artist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're resurrecting somebody.
If I could resurrect an artist, I would resurrect Syd Barrett. And
great choice.
He died of, I suppose you could say, old age, natural causes, and all that. But to resurrect the old Syd Barrett, before he started losing it, although I'm not entirely convinced it was all the LSD's fault. I think there was, something else was going on with him. But he wrote some really, really amazing songs, and it was so sad too. And even the versions on here of this, I have Opal as well, and another solo album. He did, they're a little cringy because of the shape he was in at the time of recording, but nonetheless, the songs are just, to me, just really, really amazing songs. So yes, I would love to resurrect Syd Barrett and bring him back to us.
Then you wouldn't have Dark Side of the Moon and Metal and Wish You Were Here in the Wall.
Yeah.
Well, that's a different thread.
Oh, we could go into an entire thread about. I mean, see, this is why this question is very, because then reality starts taking different pathways. If Syd Barrett, okay, I guess the question is, has he still? You're resurrecting him, right? So that
he doesn't have to be with Pink Floyd.
No, I'm saying if you're resurrecting him, then that means he's still been dead, though. That's the question. You're not keeping somebody alive. He's still been dead since whenever.
But I would resurrect him at the point of before he, maybe I would. See, I'm God.
See, then the question becomes, who would you keep from dying, not who would you resurrect? Because if you're resurrecting them, they've been dead for this long. So bringing him back wouldn't affect Pink Floyd's history.
I gotta change my record.
Right? Bringing him back would not then change Pink Floyd's...
Who would you resurrect? Who would you bring back from the dead?
Right. So bringing him back would not affect Pink Floyd's history.
Right.
Because Pink Floyd's pretty much over. I mean, they might put out another album of stuff they found on the
they
floor
were over
whatever,
long ago.
Yes.
Yeah, they're like...
Can we bring him back in 1989 and just forget about the Division Bell and...
No. Oh, please, right?
And the one about the water or whatever, that's just all instrumentals. So we're okay, cool.
It's like a Waterworld record.
I'm sticking with mine.
I just keep having images of Pet Sematary, and these people, sometimes dead is better, and they're up there with like an eyeball hanging off, trying to play the guitar.
I mean, I feel like they're being resurrected like as they were when they died.
Don't overthink it. Don't
overthink
it. If that's what you're thinking, try go with it.
They're being resurrected as they died, but it's still years later. It's not
years later.
Yeah, it's not going to pair it because we're resurrecting them currently.
Right, we're resurrecting them now, but like if they were like 20-something when they died.
You're God. You can resurrect.
Yeah, I guess you can do what you want. You're God. I forgot you're God. Do what you want.
Yeah.
Bring him back then. Bring him back now. Make him never die. Whatever.
Let's make it all of the above.
You're God. Yeah, you know me.
Mm-hmm.
You're a poet.
Okay, I feel like I need to. Can I resurrect two people? Or can
You're God.
Yeah, I'm God. I'm resurrecting two people. Damn it! First, I'm gonna Janice. She needs to come back. And too soon.
You know she's going to be drunk when she gets here.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
So are you going to resurrect as the second person, Leonard
You're
Cohen?
wonderful. And then I'm going to have a ham sandwich ready for her when she comes back. Cass Elliot, because she makes her own kind of music. And I think we needed to hear more from both of these artists. So that is why
that'll be an easy flight because I'm sure they're right together right now.
They're probably hanging out, yeah.
They're definitely eating a ham sandwich and drinking
champagne and whiskey.
Yeah.
Mama Cass is watching Janis Joplin going,
she's like, girl,
somebody gets that reference somewhere. Someone gets it.
I wonder if Pigpen will be joining them also.
All right, there you go. I'm sure he is. I'm up, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, do it.
Okay, well, I'm not changing. Well, what? I was going to go with Keith Moon, but I don't want Keith Moon to be resurrected the way he would be like right now. His death also ruined The Who. I'm sorry, but it did. But I'm going with Lou Reed. It's my favorite Lou Reed record, New York. Lou Reed. By far. I just wish he was still alive, making music and creating poetry and telling stories. He's one of my favorite storytellers. People love Dylan telling stories, and his music is great. I love Lou Reed, especially Lou made a lot of bad records. I probably could have used a Lou Reed in the previous, but no. This is who I would definitely bring back, Lou Reed, and this album is his masterpiece. I know Transistor, but no, absolute masterpiece. Going with it. Not changing my mind.
Of faith to get by.
Oh my God, Romeo said Juliet, and oh my God, what a great record! And his guitar work on that is absolutely spectacular.
I would bring back Freddie Mercury because I'd be really interested to see how he acts, how he would react, or act in a more tolerant. Society. I mean, it looks like he passed away right at the time when things really started to change. And I would love for him to still be around. And instead of having a Bohemian Rhapsody, with an actor or whatever, hear Freddie Mercury tell some stories. And I picked live, see. Hear Freddie Mercury tell some stories about the good old days with the, in the whatever kind of situations with all the secret gay rock stars and whatever. I think that would be awesome. It would be great to have... somebody like, David Bowie was around longer, obviously, but he was older and didn't, it really didn't matter that much anymore, I guess. And then, you just had all these people, obviously we still have Rob Halford, who's very open and out, but that would have been cool to have Freddie Mercury still around, or come back and just tell us the stories of all the wonderful 70s and 80s excesses.
You just want the dirt.
Right, yeah. Right. And who better to get dirt from than somebody who's been dead and under it for
I
20
think,
years.
I think Freddie would be absolutely blown away by what has happened since he passed away.
Yeah. Right. And he seems like such a generous, wonderful person anyway.
And what
I don't want to bring back a jerk
he
off.
helped create after he passed away. He has no idea what the influence he was.
Right, because especially in the United States, when he... leading up to his death, they came out with Innuendo. It really didn't do much of anything. And before that, it was like a bunch of. I'm serious. That cross-dressing video killed them in the U.S.
No, it did. Absolutely.
That was it. They may have continued on in the UK with big hits here and there off of whatever the One Vision or what. But here that was it.
No, they were done.
And so it would have been really cool, to have him see. Like
Absolutely.
you said, what became of his legacy, because it was he was kind of like counted out at that point. So
absolutely.
my Freddie Mercury would be my answer.
Great pick.
And then we're obliterating something now.
Now we're getting rid of an entire band.
Yes, we brought somebody back. Now we're eliminating an entire artist or group from ever existing in the musical world. Now, they could have been a paramedic or something, or a school teacher, or a botanist or something, but nothing in a musical. No label, exec, nothing.
Well, this band and the person behind this band did a lot of great things in terms of recording and recording engineering. There's no doubt about that. Okay, when I spoke about this band, earlier. And I just want to get rid of them I can barely tolerate them now.
Aww, that's terrible. That's got to be the only album where every song is played on the radio. Come on now.
Yeah, I know that's going to disappoint a lot of people, but this album was completely, totally ruined for me my freshman year in college by that jerk across the hall who played that record over and over and over and over.
Did we talk about this in the last video, or was that on?
Yeah, I mentioned it before.
It was on camera.
Yeah,
very
but
passionate.
This is definitely something I don't want Boston to even have existed. I mean, anybody who names their band after a city is already suspect anyway.
At least they're from there. What is this Berlin stuff?
Not from Berlin.
They're from Orange County. Mars is not from Mars.
The Bay City Rollers are not from Green Bay.
They're not from Bay City.
Oh, they should be.
Madge is.
Absolutely should be.
Kansas is from Kansas.
Yeah.
It's good.
And America is from America.
Is not from America. They're from Canada.
Oh.
Yeah, they're another one.
Yeah, they're Canadian.
I saw somebody, speaking of America, transitioning, I saw somebody post a video. Somebody in the vinyl community went to see America
Vance.
last week. It was Vance, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought the one guy passed away. Apparently not.
He was resurrected by somebody in this who's got the real... That's what inspired this whole thread. Somebody brought back Dan Peake or whatever.
Jeff Pearl resurrected him.
So that they could play Des Plaines.
I really did. I thought he passed away. Because I would have gone to that show, actually. I like that. I like that kind of stuff.
They could do magic. They could do anything that you desire. And you desire to see America, so they made it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like when Game of Thrones was like, we fucked up and killed a hot guy that a lot of people are pissed about. We got to bring him back to life. We can't bring any of the other characters back to life, strangely, but we can bring the hot guy back to life. Kind of like Marlena. Days of Our Lives, is that a better one? Marlena?
Oh, Marlena, yes. I know. Yeah, tell me Days of Our Lives. She got possessed by the devil again recently. So.
Yes. Is she still on there getting possessed by the devil? Her and the devil are got to be like old friends at this point.
Coming back. I mean,
gets possessed by the devil is like, really? Again, Satan? Come on. I'm in the middle. Can you wait until these clothes are dry? Or whatever.
He's coming back. Or maybe it was her priest that got... the Satan came back again, though.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm getting rid of...
Yes. Somebody completely.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of Cardi B. I don't want her. I don't want to hear the things she has to say.
I didn't even know we were going into that.
I don't think you're getting any argument.
She needs
genres
to go back
at this
to her stripper pole.
Ugh.
She needs
I've just
back
seen
to her
photos.
stripper pole and just ugh. She's worse than Nicki Minaj. Ugh. She's
Airships are meant to fly. I know that one.
Oh, Nikki was off the hook during the VMAs. She was.
Of course she was.
She was in prime form.
I told you not to watch that.
Yeah.
My mother wouldn't let me watch that, and I'm 55 years old. I'm next.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm waiting.
Well, it's going to be... Well, because I don't own a record from this wonderful artist of the 80s. But I'm going to talk about his band. No, not even... But... Phil
Let's get rid of a band that you have 4 copies
Phil
of.
fucking Collins.
Gee, who would be on those 4 records you have of the same album?
He is a piece of crap. And you know what?
Obsessive compulsive is called a disorder.
Let me breathe. No, their last decent record. Abacab. Definitely their last decent record. Because it was weird, it had a cool sound. Whatever. He ruined so many artists. First of all, I don't even want to talk about his solo. All that studio crap and the Hello, I Must Be Going and all that. And we're all of the same general age. That crap was all over the radio.
Yeah,
it's true.
All over the radio, and he was doing movie soundtracks, Against All Odds, and he was winning Oscars and
45
Tonys and crap. And then he starts producing other artists. He produced Robert Plant, and he produced Eric Clapton. I might say Eric Clapton's worst album of all time. He produced. How many other horrible albums did he produce? If you pull out garbage. Oh my. Well, you know what? The one is okay, but oh my God, the other one. Was that "Hello, I Must Be Going"?
Yes.
Is that the one with the cover of the Supreme song?
Yes.
Oh, you can't hurry, love.
Can I swear on this, John? What the fuck was
We
that?
swear all the
that
time.
Was awful. That was hot garbage, Craig. It was hot garbage.
But it gets worse. It does get worse. Like Sussudio was worse than that. But I like Take Me Home. I didn't mind that one. But then it gets into like the ones where it's like I can't dance, and then the one about the preacher.
That was Genesis. And like
I mean, at the point there came a point where you couldn't tell them apart.
You really couldn't, because he took over. He took over Genesis, and you know, Tony Banks, who was very creative, had no say in the band at some point.
Well, that song "Illegal Alien" sure did age well.
Wow.
Or he's doing the whole thing in some like pseudo Mexican accent.
I saw them before he started doing a lot of that solo work, while Tony Banks and Rutherford
Michael Rutherford.
Yeah, were still with the band, and so I saw them at a show, and they played a lot of Genesis. They played a lot of Peter Gabriel.
Yeah, I saw them on the Mama tour.
Yeah, this would have been like 1980, maybe.
Abacab.
1980, 1981. Yeah, Abacab, around Abacab.
Land of Confusion. The video was really cool, though.
Yeah, well, the video wasn't him, though. The video was basically a creation of, what was that thing called? Spitting Image? The UK, yeah. So he can't even take credit for that. Wow, we're going to obliterate Phil Collins. Why do you have those all four of those?
Fired up. Yeah, they're all different variations.
Did you see my Instagram thing on the Rolling Stones Some Girls?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Great job.
So yeah, you'll have to have all 15 of those.
I think no. I think I have 3 of them.
Great album, but one's enough.
It's their last.
My choice would be just to get rid of Creed, just so I could have had a better time.
Bye, Creed. Bye.
I could have had a much better life. I mean, being in radio, you're forced to hear so many things that you would not ever hear. I mean, you can turn off the radio unless you are the radio. You can't turn it off. You could leave the room. You got to come back, you know. So yeah, Creed just made my whole it confused me. I brought this up before about how it made me leave rock radio and rethink my whole thing. I got back into radio later. I mean, there was really no kind of excuse for this. And I'm so over these 90s rock deniers. Nobody is a fan of, nobody likes Creed now. All those albums sold themselves. You know, nobody likes the Dave Matthews. Nobody ever liked the. I never liked the Dave Matthews Band. I never. Well, thank you for your honesty.
I have a friend who.
Not everyone is that honest. Not everyone is that honest. Richard doesn't want to be that honest.
Richard just turned off the lights and he's out of here.
I don't know
Creed
what happened.
would be the artist that I would obliterate.
There I am.
Did I do that?
Oh, there you go.
I a push notification came on my screen. I was trying to dismiss it, and instead I opened it. Blah blah blah. Whatever.
Wow.
Okay. So Creed would be mine, and we've got.
Nickelback is getting back together.
Oh well, that's exciting.
I didn't know they broke up. That's the same thing. It's the same thing. Creed was more pompous. Creed was more, they had those religious overtones. And the guy, I can't remember his name, but the lead singer had the whole the Christ thing all the time, where he was like Jesus on a cross.
And could you name a Creed song? I don't think I've ever heard a Creed song.
Oh my God! Higher, my sacrifice. What's this life for? My own prison. I could.
What's that line from Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, when they check into the hotel room and the crucifixes are hanging on the wall? What's his line? So, take that thing down or whatever.
Is that the Strap guy or what's it?
Yeah, Scott Stapp.
Okay, yeah. Scott. Yeah, I know. Yeah, how's that career going?
And he had a solo album, but he thought he was just the cat's meow. I mean, just. Like I said, we're all around the same age here. Cat's meow, very hip.
Yeah,
thing to say.
We're Guncles. I said that.
Cat's meow. That's like he was 40.
Yeah, that's 20s actually. He's the bee's knees. But yeah, he
Moving along.
when it finally fell apart for him and he got exposed, that was pretty funny. But yeah, Creed.
Well, that was fun. Thank you, Alan, for that.
Well, we have another one. We have what vinyl community channel would you
I didn't know we
donate?
were going to do this.
No, my answer would be none. Because as soon as somebody starts making videos and that's all they have to do, they don't have a lot. It's like you want a starving artist. You don't want somebody who just sits back in luxury and just this is all they do.
I'm with you.
Yeah. You got to work for it a little bit. You got to have that, passion where, this is your fun, not your only source of income. There's a change that happens with people. I haven't seen it in the vinyl community, but I've seen it in other things like movie reviewers that have channels and stuff like that I've watched for years. As soon as they do that thing where it's like, oh, I got to quit my job finally, and it's all thanks to you, and I got blah, 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 and I'm going to do this full time now. All of a sudden, their videos get real, safe and real, they're trying to be professional now, and they get the big intro. Stupid. Hey, I got a favor I can ask of the vinyl community, though. Can we stop making intros so goddamn loud? And then the audio that follows it is like a whisper. Can we start normalizing that? Or just maybe not even have the intro?
Oh,
You know what I mean?
I don't have an intro.
I don't even know how
You
to
ever see
make an intro.
I'm watching my stuff.
Mike and I are
The can
Anyone
graphic.
is fine.
It's so annoying. I mean, it's bad enough whenever, but like my husband will be asleep or something because he works at different, at times where, and I'll be up at 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning watching these videos, and the sound will be, and then somebody will have this insanely loud, it's vinyl talk with Kevin, bitches! Woo! And then, Kevin or whoever comes on sitting in his kitchen.
Hi.
And yeah. Hi, everybody. Let's go here. I'm going to show you my latest. Here's my latest Creed CD I got.
Yeah.
I've been looking for this for so
I love
long.
Kevin.
It's my Grail.
It's Grail.
It's a Creed Grail.
That's my
It makes it a holy Grail.
Now are we just moving on to VC bitches complaints?
Yes.
Yeah,
That was my
okay.
VC complaint. Who's next?
Grail. First of all, there's only a Grail, not Grails. And second of all, how many Grails do you have?
Yeah.
I fell into that when I first started making videos. I did because I thought that, and I'm like, no. That's not a Grail. And the Grails people have Thriller was somebody's Grail one time.
Oh, that's mine.
Do you not know the
Yeah,
origin of the word Grail?
I got 2 copies, Craig. I'll send you one tomorrow.
I've got one. I'm lying, but I think I do.
I've got 2 copies.
Do you have the one without
And a 12-inch.
I
don't have a first one. I have 2. I have later ones.
Yeah, mine are later. Not much, though.
I mean, I've used Grail. I'm not going to say I haven't, but I think it's more of but then I was once told that what I wanted was not a Grail, and so I kind of had to rethink it because it's not necessarily a Grail, but it's something that is very that I want and something that is really important.
It's something you're seeking.
And they're like, oh, you can find
So
it.
you
for
achieve
$30,
one, and then you go to seek another one.
Yeah,
if it's a Grail to you, then it's.
But a Grail would be something that you can't find anywhere, right? And doesn't Discogs and eBay kind of? I mean, it's more about what you can afford.
Yeah.
You can exactly.
Yeah.
You can.
They're all right there
anything.
waiting for you if you want to pay the amount that they're asking. But
Exactly. Well, and then
I made rule some girls.
It's not like
we were just talking about
20
some
years
girls.
ago.
Yeah, exactly. When you didn't have the internet, it was all at your fingertips.
Yeah.
But some girls, Rolling Stones, one of the things I made a rule for myself, I even mentioned this in a video, and that's why I put that thing on Instagram, because I finally got it, is I wanted the exact cover with the right pressing plant, and there was 2 other things it had to be, too. It had to be Monarch, it had to have the blue on top, and it had to be the uncensored one. And it had to be all these things, and it had to be under $20. And so, that's why I never had Some Girls on vinyl until a week ago, because I finally
found it under $20
in shrink wrap with the misuse sticker on it. They had it was on eBay, and they had the inner sleeve turned the wrong way.
Okay.
So I guess people that saw it thought it was the censored one, but I could see Lucille Ball's red hair, so
that's a Grail.
So, but I made it a Grail for myself. I could have got that anytime for $50 or whatever. Kaleidoscope Tangerine Dream would be a grail for me to find somewhere for a decent price. Online, it's $400 without the cover.
Wow.
Which Tangerine Dream?
It's Tangerine Dream's the name of the album. It's Kaleidoscope is the band, a UK
Oh,
psychedelic band.
Yeah, I
I'm
saw you
sorry.
talk
Okay.
about them in one of your videos.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, Grail. Next? Who's next? What else are we changing about the vinyl community? No more loud
I
intros,
think
no more
that's
Grails.
it, yeah. Don't tell me how to collect and how to clean my records and how to do this and no, here's the thing that I have with that, and don't tell me what kind of a stereo equipment I need to have. I don't have a suitcase. I don't have a Crosley. That's fine. So I love what I have, and
That's all that matters.
and I feel like some of these people that are, and I'm not disrespecting anybody, but I feel like you're telling me how to do something that I've been doing for over 20 years, and you've been doing this for 10 minutes. And you're telling
How
me
do you know they've been doing it for 10?
because they say I've only been collecting
You
for
can
5
tell.
years.
Oh, right.
You have a bigger collection than me because you have more money than me. But this is something that I have painstakingly, like, this is passion. This is not just about getting the next release. This is just every single thing I own has a connection to me, has a story to it. And I have spent over 20 years of my life, like, just passionately in love with this hobby. And so the cleaning, I mean, all of that stuff is important in how you store your records and so on and so forth. But don't tell me that I'm doing it wrong. My vinyl is still very beautiful. It's my. There's only one thing in this world more important to me, and that's my dog. So, like, I don't know. I just get a little like, don't tell me. I'm not telling you how to do it.
Yeah.
Like,
That's especially
How are you cleaning your
problematic.
records, by the way?
I just throw them in the middle of the floor
Oh,
and
that's
I dance
raw.
on them and everything. But I mean,
Oh,
I
my
like
God.
to put the sleeves on them. I don't do the inner sleeves. That is dumb to me. I have had these records for years and they're in fine condition without having to have those fancy.
Depends on what kind.
They're
I mean, that
expensive.
comes with how you collect records too. If you're going to like me and you're going to like getting records from antique malls and flea markets and things like that, you have to clean the records. And I begrudgingly found out that you do have to have, polylined inner sleeves for some of these that have just been sitting in
Yes,
this
that's different.
paper dirty thing. But brand new records, I mean,
For
It's really-
decades,
For
for decades, I never had a record in a plastic sleeve. I didn't want my collection to look like the Deerfield Public Library, where I used to go and check out records. I never had record sleeves.
I still don't have
I
those
had-
outer. I thought we were talking about inner sleeves. I still don't have the outer
I
sleeves.
never had
Yeah,
inner.
both,
I
and
had
it's
never
not-
had
yeah.
inner either. But when the
Yeah.
pandemic hit, I actually started changing and doing that stuff because I had nothing else to do.
I just don't like the way
outer
it looks.
sleeve.
I've always like you. I thought it looked like a library or something,
It
or
looked
like
like
they
a
weren't
library.
your collection. I like them.
I've
the way
I've
they look
changed
like.
over time, but I'm with Craig. Don't tell
Well,
me how
there's
to.
something else that
Putting
Craig
the
was
record in the
talking
back
about.
though, it's got to.
Something else that Craig was talking about is when new people come into the VC, especially young people, they don't have real high-end equipment, but they're showing their records and they're really enthusiastic about it. And then some
They get
asshole
attacked.
needs to leave a comment about, that
They get
that
attacked. I've
you need
seen
to
it many
to
times.
listen to this, you need to listen to that, or why are you playing your records on this, and you're going to ruin your records. And a couple of them have shot
But
back.
if they're
and
going to
said,
ruin their records, though, I mean, it's like that's a whole different issue. I mean, if you're
Yeah,
when you're,
literally letting
when
somebody
you-
know,
a
dude,
lot of-
you're paying, you're ruining those records just so you're aware. Just so
I mean,
you
if
know.
they're playing it on a Crosley,
when
that's
you're
one thing.
19
But
That's
years
completely
old
different.
and you've got a collection of 20 records that you're really excited about, and you can only afford so much, for the equipment that you play it on, that's just, you're killing the enthusiasm. And this happens a lot, I think,
it happens
Yeah,
more so with women in the vinyl community. I really hate how women in the vinyl community seem to attract more vitriol over their content, than the men do. And it's
Well, that's not the vinyl community. That's called being a woman.
Exactly. I mean, it really.
Yeah.
is.
I mean, we're working
Yeah,
in
right, exactly.
media.
it's ubiquitous. It is.
Yeah,
It's ubiquitous. It's
But the flip side is, if you're a woman, you're going to have 500 more subscribers than any guy right away. It's like you're given subscribers in a box,
and you're going to be getting the guys who are in a basement. But
there's still numbers though.
Right, but I don't want to disparage Glenn Kelway from the basement. But I'm talking about the people who don't even really have their own channel. They just create a YouTube profile so that they can go around and troll, other people or whatever they're doing. My point is that when someone's trying to share their enthusiasm about their records, about their collection, their love for music, the last thing you want to do is shoot them down because their equipment doesn't meet your standard.
Well, there's ways to do it, and there's ways not to do it. If you're seriously concerned that
somebody about it, because
that's where we disagree.
And I'm not.
I know that's where we disagree. I'm disagreeing with you. There's a way to do it. And there's a way not to do it. If you see somebody, buying like $25 records all the time, and like you said, they've got 20 records, $30 a piece, and they're very loving of these records. They love what they're doing, and you seriously see that they're damaging them. There's a way to say that, hey, you can't.
I think they're probably. Yeah.
Hey, you got a lot. You got a great collection there growing. Next step might be to It might be time to upgrade your record. There's ways to do it, and then there's ways to be an asshole. I saw something on Instagram where somebody was playing a video of Led Zeppelin 4, untitled fourth album. With the label going around, and they could tell by the label, because it had the Warner logo on it, I would assume, that it was a later pressing, and they chastised the person for that, listening to a later pressing, not an original.
I saw that.
Right.
I saw that on Instagram. Yes, some dude went after that.
Well, yeah, that's more like the type of.
And why is that
I'm talking about?
But
even then, if it's just your first time watching a video, it's not the right time to bring up the fact that they could do better with the equipment. Watch them for a while.
In my opinion, they could
build
have
up
done
a
better
rapport.
with the record.
But there's people out there who have money and very little passion about music. The music passion's here. Yeah. The money's here.
Yep.
And those are the you can tell, and those are the channels I just try to. I don't even deal. I don't want to see that.
No, I live in
unopened records that they've never listened to, never will. Here's this one. Here's this one.
Or they listen to them once to see if the pressing is good, and then they put them on the shelf and never listen to them again.
This was warped,
so they can say that they own it.
Yeah. And then they
has a
sell it
crease
for
in
twice as bad. Yeah.
And don't tell me I need to own Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, everybody
you don't
tells
have any
me
Led Zeppelin?
I do not own one Led Zeppelin album.
Really?
I will never own a Led Zeppelin album. You all can love them, and I appreciate them. I have the Robert Plant and Alison Krauss albums. I love those.
Wonderful.
But Led Zeppelin never did anything for me.
That's okay. All gay people have that album. But I found my interest in Led Zeppelin has kind of decreased.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that would happen. It's all a little too... It's a little too adolescent sex drive. It was great in high school and in college, but I'm finding AC/DC too is kind of, I haven't listened to any,
I posted an Instagram post, probably a year ago. I pulled out Led Zeppelin 4, and I was like, I haven't listened to this album in 10 years. And I got attacked. How can you never listen to that album in 10 years? I was like, because I listened to it over and over.
It's like, there's a radio that was on somewhere playing all these songs over and over
again.
again.
When it was released, when I was like 13 years old.
Again. Just like the Boston album. I never need to hear that album again. Hotel California. Rumors. If I never hear
The Last Resort, though, you never hear that one.
Don't need to hear it.
Yeah, I'd much rather play over and over again Peter Green era of Fleetwood Mac than the later.
I mean, then Play On and Kiln House, and absolutely.
All right, so now that we've trashed the vinyl community, it's time to move on to our next segment.
Yeah.
Now that we pissed them all off, yeah.
Hey, watch those loud intros. It's time for the album review, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And this time it was Craig that chose the album.
Let me find my... And you guys can start.
None of us were in the Boy Scouts, were we?
You definitely don't need to show that artwork.
But I was a total failure as a Boy Scout.
It is terrible.
Poor thing.
Okay, so
Why
is
did
that
they
a
do
drawing
that
or
to
is that a
her?
photo?
It's a painting. Like
Okay, because
It's
there's
like
two
a
versions.
weird painting.
I think it's a
And
photo.
like,
I
it's
found
like-
two
Really?
versions of that. One is a photo,
awful.
is that photo basically, and the other is the painting. Like you,
Right, yeah.
This looks more like a painting to me.
yeah, yeah,
And
Yeah,
it's
it does.
terrible.
But it's
Yeah.
a painting of a photo.
yeah. It's a painting of a photo. The other version is the photo. There's a cover
Okay.
with the photo on it.
Either
That is
way,
like a
awful.
2002 or something like that, or 2015. I don't know. The other one is
Yeah,
like
it's-
1994.
It's pretty new. The concert was 1977, but the album was released like 2019, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it's a record store day. Really.
Yeah.
This was
Well, I can
from
just go
last
ahead and do
year.
mine. That is
ahead.
Big Mama Thornton. The album is called Sassy Mama. It came out in 1977, and like I said, there's two versions that I saw on to stream. One's a 1994 mix, and the other's like a 2000 something mix. I preferred the 94 one, which has a similar cover, but it's the picture. It's not a drawing. It's an actual black and white picture like that, and it just sounded so completely raw. If I had to like use one word to describe this album, it would be atmosphere. This album has a lot of atmosphere. You feel like you're right there at the concert. It's just very raw. It's just like there's no frills. There's no like. It doesn't sound like there's certainly any overdubs or anything like that. The later remix sounds a little polished. The earlier one that I heard from the 90s, it's got this really bad tape errors where it's got tape bleed through, and you can kind of hear if it gets quiet and she's just talking, you can kind of hear what she's saying before, and a little echo. Then she says it, and then another little echo of it. But I would rather hear that because the rest of it just sounded so much more raw. The other one was a little more polished, but atmosphere is what it's all about. I loved her, the Janis Joplin, obviously, the Ball and Chain and the Summertime and the Hound Dog and all that. She doesn't have a huge vocal range. She's not somebody that's like an operatic whatever. It's a blues singer. She's sassy. The only drawback I have is some of the sassiness is kind of forced. It doesn't really work, like the whole Watermelon song. It reminds me of those drag performers that are all dressed up really nice, but they don't have the sass, and they say things and wave their hand around like it's the sassiest thing. It's like, no, honey, that had no timing or rhythm or anything. That didn't. And the whole audience is like, oh, that's a punchline. Ah, that's a punchline. Punchline, we got it. No, and it's like a 30-second delay. But that's her Watermelon Man kind of thing. Kind of reminded me of that. It's like stuff that wasn't sassy said in a sassy way. But overall, like I said, just a lot of atmosphere, and it just like you're right there in this like blues club in the 70s, which is surprising because the guy who suggested this just trashed Superfly for being all suckers and jive turkeys. So we're going to go right to Big Mama Thornton live in 1977. I will give this 4 rainbows.
Oh my!
Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, I really liked the rawness of it. Like I said, it wasn't a lot of beautiful melodic singing or anything, but
Okay.
just work on the sassiness, Sassy Mama.
Yeah.
Get some content.
Should we go around or?
Sure.
I'll go next. I really wanted to like this album, and I'll try and be succinct. I know that I have a tendency sometimes to, ramble on a little bit, so I'll try to be concise because I don't want Robert and Craig to feel like they're compelled into some sophomoric antics and schoolboy antics, when I'm not looking at the camera or something like that. So I'll try and keep concise with my comments here. I really wanted to like this record because I like Big Mama Thornton. I don't have any of her records, but I've listened to a lot of her stuff. This one, interestingly, she died 7 years after this album at the age of 57. And she sounds run down in this record. Now, Tell Me Pretty Baby, that was pretty good. That it's got an Allman Brothers riff in there, and I was trying to figure out, all right, what it is, and I finally figured out it's from You Don't Love Me, from the Fillmore, from Fillmore East, that opening riff, that's going through the song. Rock Me Baby was way too slow for me. I felt like I was on junk and I was about to nod. It just really, didn't help me out. The ball and
You
chain,
should definitely
BB
write
King
for Rolling
style.
Stone.
I like the way she threw that in there. Ball and chain, BB King style. That was pretty good, and it was kind of BB King style. I didn't really write anything else down for Watermelon Man or Summertime. I mean, her emotion was coming through, in her singing. She was still trying to give it her real, her best. But she, at this time, I was doing some research on it. She was really heavy drinker. She went from 405 pounds to 95 pounds by the time she died because of the alcoholism. And I was kind of hearing that in this performance where, and you said you didn't like the photo, the cover, that's probably how she was looking, at the end. She wasn't a big mama anymore. She was less than 100 pounds. And you could hear she was tired. I mean, she was really tired, to me anyway, in that. I really wanted to like this album because, like I say, I really love Big Mama Thornton. And I give it 3.5.
Well, you guys have answered several of the questions. I wanted to know how old she was when she recorded this. She wasn't that old. She sounds really old.
She was blues old.
She was blues old, exactly. First of all, I'll just say the blues are not one of my favorite genres, which has no effect on how I review this. But normally when I listen to blues, it's Johnny Lee Hooker and it's Albert King and BB, and I'm more like the guitar blues. Guitar usually stands out, and that's the blues that I gravitate towards. I like her. I've been listening to her for many, many years. This is a terrible recording. I thought it was awful. I don't know if maybe I should have listened to the other version that Robert listened to. I thought it was terrible. I thought the guitar was way too in the back, and her vocals were. And I was also listening on Apple Music, which we've talked about as garbage. I get the atmosphere. It was there. You do kind of feel like you're in the room. Had the recording been a little bit better, I think I would have been more enthused about it. I'm not going to go song to song. I mean, Ball and Chain it's a great song. I really, really wanted I was really excited when Craig talked about this record and he picked it. I was like, but it's not a great record. I think there's better recordings of her. Definitely. Yeah. Boy, I'm gonna give it three rainbows because it really
sympathy
is.
rainbows. Sympathy rainbows.
Well, I think it's what you said, Robert. It's the atmosphere. You do feel like you're in the club, and had the recording been better, and maybe it could have been, maybe it couldn't have been. It would have been a lot higher if the recording was better. I really think. But the atmosphere was absolutely, it's a blues singer. It's just she's awesome. She is really, really
She
cool.
is. Oh, man, I love her stuff. Yeah. I love her stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I've just been working on finding
three rainbows?
Yeah.
So she died. She died 7 years after this?
Yeah.
Yeah, at the age of 57. Only 57 years old.
She looked like she was in her 80s.
She was my age when she recorded this. Wow.
So she was 50. Yeah, she was 50 when she recorded this.
Yeah.
And she sounds like she's 80.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the blues.
Really
I mean, that's some people try to fake that stuff. She was real.
Yeah.
I said when I chose this that this is what I wanted to go with, but there's no digital version of where you guys could find to listen.
And that's the Big Mama that we know.
So this is where I wanted to go, but the reason I chose this because I knew it was accessible. I knew you could listen to it, but I just felt like Willie Mae, Big Mama Thornton, she needs to be discussed.
Absolutely.
And first off, Hound Dog, it's the way she sings it the way it's supposed to be sung, not that piece of shit that Elvis does. I cannot stand. I love Elvis.
Okay. So we're gonna move on now. Wait, I can't unmute him now.
Oh, wow.
I'm unmuted.
That was
Oh, there we go.
bird we've gotten on the vinyl cover.
Wow. I did not say I don't love Elvis. I love Elvis. I heard her sing that song and I never wanted to hear anybody else sing it ever again. She sang that song the way it was supposed to be sung. But I mean, then you look at Ball and Chain. I love Mama's version. It's her song. But Janice brought it to a whole new light. She brought it, and especially that live version where she is talking about being on the train and how tomorrow's the same fucking day, man. You gotta call that love, man. I could quote the whole thing for you, but I felt like she was an important artist and that she needed to be discussed, and such a tragic life. Like the fact that 400 pounds. Like Richard, you pretty much said most everything I was going to say about, like, you know, her weight loss and just kind of, she looked like she was 150 years old and she was 57 when she died. There is a Aretha Franklin television special that was about a year before she died, and there you can find it on YouTube of her and Aretha doing a song together, and I've
seen that. Yeah,
it's tragic to just see like what alcoholism did to her. But again, a brilliant artist. I really wish you guys we could have done In Europe. Find it if you can. Listen to the expanded version.
Lookout for records
listen
of
to
hers.
the expanded
Absolutely.
version.
Yeah.
And Buddy Guy was on the first. So this was her first recording. This was her first live recording. This was her first record in Europe. And it's really hard. I mean, this is limited to 500 copies. So and I don't know how I managed to get a copy of it. But
Buddy Guy is on that?
Yeah, Buddy Guy's on this one. But this was her very first release. Nice. Yeah. So I just, for her, and then, yes, the atmosphere. And I've never listened to this digitally. I've only listened to it on my record. I'm not getting the bad sounds that you guys are saying.
Very possible.
I feel every time I feel like I'm watching her, and you know, and she's making these comments, and I'm really enjoying it myself.
Oh, I could hear that in the version, especially when she's talking about, our drummer's still waiting for a beer. When she's talking about that. But yeah.
And
she's
no
a legend.
For Elvis.
Yes, that already happened. What? How
many
rainbows do you give this?
I'm doing 4.
Okay, so that's...
Got your calculator?
What is that, 14 and a half?
Yep.
14 and a half for Big Mama Thornton, which means it's Mike's turn to choose the album. What album are we listening to next?
I am going with... And this was a random poll. I was just going through some records the other day, and I was like, I have not listened to that record in 10 years, maybe. Maybe not 10. I was like, that might be my record to choose. And it is Pete Shelley's Homo Sapien.
Pete Shelley from the Buzzcocks.
Lead singer from the Buzzcocks, 1982, I believe. 1981, 1982. His first full-length solo record. So that is your homework for next week, boys.
Yay!
All right.
Go back to 1982. Put on your parachute pants and your thin black ties.
Parachute pants.
Members only.
What?
My God, I used to have a pair.
I had them. Oh my God! In my tie.
I never had parachute pants.
I had them, and I had the leather tie.
Oh yeah.
I had one of those. Mine was the white leather tie.
Oh,
wow.
I did not have white. I had black.
So we've come to the part of the show we close things off with what record would you pull, where we pick a scenario, and we have to figure out what record we would pull in that scenario. Now, my scenario is kind of twofold because
It's a surprise too.
Yeah, we don't know.
Oh.
Or I don't know.
Well, here it is.
No, we don't know.
It's kind of a follow-up to Richard's, but it's also a real-life thing. Basically, you're, last time around, Richard said that you're going into a record store. What album would you pull to test the equipment? And my whole take on that was, well, you don't pick great stuff. You pick stuff that doesn't sound, Creedence Clearwater Revival, because you really want to pull that fidelity, see which stereos pull that fidelity out. So now my scenario is, okay, now you've bought the turntable. You're home alone. You're in the comfort, or maybe not alone, but you're in the comfort of your own home. You can crank it as loud as you want, whatever. You're not trying to test different stereos. Now you want to listen to something for pleasure. What's the first record you listen to on your wonderful new turntable? Home, everything's perfect. You've waited for this. You've got a glass of wine or a joint rolled or whatever's happening. And what album are you playing on your brand new turntable?
Craig's going to pick Superfly.
Yeah, it's right here.
Richard's
You're
going to
play it backwards. Play it backwards.
Damn, what am I going to play? My first...
Oh, Joan Baez. Didn't see that coming. No Joan Baez fans? No? Play it backwards?
I don't really know anything by Joan Baez. I know of her. I've always been told.
Yeah, she was
Joan?
Woodstock.
Joan's awesome. You know what I like about Joan? She seems like a nice lady. She really does. She just seems like a really... She just seems like...
I was always more Joni than Joan.
But yeah. I like Joni's music better than Joan.
Okay, since it's my scenario, I guess I can go first if you guys are still... I would pick the one that Richard actually suggested, Black Sabbath, I think, will be the first one I play. Just because it has such an earthy sound. It has such, like Richard was saying, has such a wide sound stage. It has natural drums. And that's one of the first things I want to hear. I want to hear a whole album of really good sounding natural drums on a really good sounding system where you can hear them how they're supposed to sound. So I wouldn't pick something like, I have a Speaker's Corner of Lou Reed Transformer that I haven't heard yet. I have Pink Floyd. I have all of that, but I wouldn't want to listen to the absolute best sounding album first, because then it's all everything sounds worse.
It's all downhill afterwards.
Pick something nice. Yeah, pick something nice and in the middle. Black Sabbath's first album is for the first one I would.
Oh, now I got to modify my choice, perhaps.
He is such an underrated. He is a really underrated drummer too.
Yeah,
very underrated.
Who's next?
We can go around.
Yeah,
I got two that I would probably pull, and I'm gonna go back in time. I'm either going to listen to Revolver. I think that is something that, if I've got some new equipment, and I did have the chance, of course, where I live now, I don't have a chance to play things really loud. I would have to do headphones to do that. But yeah, but the other one too, at the same time, I would really love to hear, it's the White Album, on some new equipment. Sometimes people say the White Album is really bloated, but I love the White Album all the way through. It's just, I loved your video where you were talking about number 9.
Oh yeah.
To me, the whole experience of the album works, and to hear that on new equipment is going to bring back a little bit for me that feeling of hearing it again for the first time kind of situation,
right.
So yeah, those are probably the two albums I would want to put on first.
Yeah, the only reason I didn't pick the Beatles is because I did that last time when I got the turntable 15 years ago. That's the first thing I heard was the Beatles on it. So, all right, next.
No, I think I would go with Sign of the Times.
Nice.
Prince. It's my favorite record of his.
Yeah, a lot of fidelity on that too. Is that a remaster or is that an original?
This is an original.
Yeah,
that's my favorite of his.
Yeah, and the song "The Cross" just
Yep.
Just the entire record. It's just fantastic.
I need to get more Prince in my collection. I only have Purple Rain.
Oh, you definitely need more.
Yeah.
Well, let's put those comments in the comments about how Richard's so lame because he only has Purple Rain. My God.
And you can get them all now because they're all been repressed.
Yeah.
They're
You can
all
get a
readily
Not
available
all
for
of them, but-
$22. I mean, majority of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still a lot that aren't available.
$22. You can get them most of them.
The good ones are.
Yeah. I'm going back to my beginnings too. I'm going with Rubber Soul.
Oh,
I was
wow.
gonna do Revolver, but yeah, this is my favorite Beatles album. I think Revolver might be their best album, but this is my favorite Beatles record. I just love it. The American version. It's just a
That
perfect.
looks like the Japanese version.
Well, it's a Japanese pressing, but it's the American lineup.
Oh, wow. I didn't know they had.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's not the European. Yeah, it does not have Drive My Car on it, which is fine. I love it. I absolutely love it. My favorite Beatles record. It's the perfect folk record. It's
I was gonna say that'd be a very warm listen. Check out the warmth of your, turntable and
it's
cartridge and
wonderful.
everything with that.
Such a great record.
And acoustic
Love
too.
it,
That's
love
a
it,
great
love
way
it.
to, listen to a brand new turntable, something acoustic like that. You can hear every string.
The album they did after meeting with Bob Dylan in that taxi cab.
Exactly. Yep. Good shows.
All right. Well, that means that who's got the scenario next time? I guess that would be Craig that has the scenario next time.
It's me.
All right, and that's what you can expect on the next episode. We'll have a review of Pete Shelley's Homo Sapien. We'll have a new scenario. We'll probably have more complaints about vinyl community channels. We'll make that a thing, a weekly.
No, we're not making
No, we won't.
Vinyl Community Spotlight. All right, thank you so much for joining us. We are the Vinyl Community Guncles. Once again, I am Robert Fithen.
I'm Richard Harold. Oh, Kelvin Wazoo.
Mike from Hupton.
And Craig.
Yes.
Vinyl, plethora, plural.
We are the home of the pregnant pauses. We are the Vinyl Community Guncles. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing if you like what you see and want to be reminded. We do go live occasionally, so you'll be reminded when we go live. You definitely don't want to miss that, because if you do, you won't be able to see it.
want to miss that.
Or maybe you do.
Because
Please
what
consider liking the
shows
video.
up is not the whole story.
Yeah. Thank you so much again for watching. We will all talk to you again next time.
Ta-ta.